Hey everyone, and today I'm going to talk about how access to stake changes based on where you live, what actually happens when you try to use it from a restricted region, and practical options you have to get the full site. We'll walk through regional availability, KYC requirements, and what works versus what does not when you just want the full experience without surprises. Now, stake is not available everywhere. In some places, you will see a screen that says stake.com is not available in your region, and you may be redirected to a reduced version with fewer features. And in other restricted regions, the site can load in a very limited state or not load at all. So the first step is understanding that the experience is tied to your physical location, because stake treats different countries differently. Now, the next piece is KYC, or Know Your Customer, because that is what determines whether you can actually create an account and withdraw without issues. So even if you try signing up from another country, you should expect at least a basic KYC check that asks for your name, date of birth, and address. And depending on where you appear to be signing up from, that can escalate quickly to a government ID or extra documents. So the practical takeaway is simple. You can often complete KYC and use the service normally, but you should be ready for verification at sign up or when you withdraw. Now, when the goal is full access from a restricted region, a VPN is the practical method most people try, since it lets you appear in a country where stake is allowed. And this is especially useful if you already have a verified account and you're abroad and just trying to get access to it. By the way, if you wanted to check out any of the VPNs I mentioned in this video, I'll be sure to include details and any current discounts I can find in the description below. Now, let me show you how this works in a simple real-world example. Now, if you connect through a US location and load stake.com, you can see the not available in your region message, and you will be redirected to a US version with fewer features. And that's the expected behavior, because the site is checking where you appear to be and shaping your access based on that. And if you disconnect from the US location and connect through a country where stake is allowed, like Germany, the full site loads normally again. So this is the basic pattern. Restricted regions either block you or push you to a limited experience, and supported regions restore the complete site. And that is why location is the first lever most people adjust when they want full access. And there's the question of what happens if VPN use is detected. Now, the most common outcome people report is account closure with the remaining balance paid out to you, rather than a permanent hold. And while that is reassuring, it's still a risk, and the rules can change. So if you try a dedicated IP to look less like a shared tunnel, you'll most likely see improved consistency, but it is not a guarantee because their policy is what ultimately decides the outcome. So at this point, you know how the site behaves across regions and what KYC looks like, which means choosing a VPN provider comes down to your priorities. Now, if you want the most straightforward experience where you click once and the full site returns, Express is the easiest one to recommend because it's the one I personally use, and it's proven to be very reliable over the years. But if you prefer extra tools built in, Nord is what I'd usually recommend if you're looking for lots of extra features. You could say it's not just a VPN, it's a security suite in some form. And if your main goal is covering a lot of devices on a tight budget, Surfshark makes sense because unlimited connections keep all your devices safe without any extra cost. So pick based on what matters most to you, because all three can place you in supported countries where stake operates if that is your core requirement here. And that's everything you need to map out a clean path to the full version of stake from a restricted region with clear expectations around KYC and realistic outcomes if VPN use is flagged. Now, if you want the detailed reviews or best deal possible, those links are in the description, so feel free to check them out whenever you're ready. And if this was helpful, please leave a thumbs up, as I always appreciate that. And if you have questions, drop them in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer as many as I can. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.